Bonjour, Tavy Baisley from French Speak. You're going to love this video. I'm going to share 15 ideas for French learners of all levels to inject more French into their lives, even on a busy day. So I'm going to give you a step-by-step roadmap on how to take every single short study session and make it as effective as possible. We all know how time-consuming it can be to start your study session. Get your mind in the right headspace, get ready for it, get all your books and notes, and then decide what to actually study. All of a sudden, you look at your watch and 10 or 20 minutes may have passed, and you actually haven't started. So I'm sharing these 15 ideas for those 15 minutes short bursts of times that you can fit into your days in this video with you to alleviate all of that. So this makes your efforts more worthwhile, and each task will truly help you improve your French. These mini study sessions, could be part of your everyday routine. You can do them at any point. I'd love to note that after this video, you won't let another week go by of French where you skip entire days or weeks of study because you couldn't find a big enough window in your day. These are really short and snappy things you can fit in every day. These 15-minute activities are short enough in your everyday schedule, and they're incredibly efficient to progress your French. So let's get started. On y va. Idée numéro 1. Écoutez un podcast. Number 1, listen to a short podcast. Pick something appropriate to your level. There are quite a few options out there these days. For new learners, I love to recommend the podcast called Coffee Break French. For beginners, I quite like Duolingo French. For intermediates, I recommend French Voices or News in Slow French. And for advanced learners, I recommend any native material, so any francophone produced podcasts. Numéro 2, un peu d'écriture. You're going to complete some writing prompts. The easiest way to do this is to have a bank of writing prompts already ready. Maybe you do that at the start of each week or each month. You write yourself a little list. For example, on the first writing prompt, you could write about your family. Le lendemain, the next day, you can write about one person in particular and say lots of things about them. Next time, you can describe them physically and detail what they were wearing from a photo you have with them. The following time, you could describe their personality traits. And then the next writing prompt could be where you could write about your last encounter with them. Where was it? When was it? What did you do? What did you speak about? Idée numéro 3. Lire et répéter. Third idea is to read the transcript of a podcast, read it out loud, and then pick 5 words, seulement 5, to add to your word bank or in your notebook. That's it. Idée 4, écouter de la musique française. Number 4, you're listening to a French song. First, listen without the lyrics, and then find the lyrics and then listen again. Then add 5 words or phrases, seulement 5, to your word bank. Idée numéro 5, faire une leçon sur une appli. Number 5, you might already do this. It's do a short session on your favorite language app. It could be Duolingo, Busuu, Babel. I can't keep up. There are so many out there for French, so do any of them. Idée numéro 6, regarder un film français. Watch a French movie. While you're watching, grab a notepad. And for the first 15 minutes, keep your notepad and pen in hand and add new things to your word bank. So you're actively watching to try and draw out some goodness. Idée numéro 7, réviser. Number 7, review some of your recent notes. Take a look at the notes you took from your recent last lesson or study session and rewrite the key things, organize them, delete anything that isn't essential and that you're deciding to ignore for now. Idée numéro 8, revoir un exercice de grammaire. Number 8, you're completing a grammar exercise. So you're picking a grammar point that you haven't seen in a while, complete it, check your correction, and then extract 5 phrases and tweak them, make them relevant to you and add them into your notepad or your notebook. Idée numéro 9, s'enregistrer. 9, you're making a voice memo, a voice recording. This may need a little preparation to come up with a few speaking prompts in advance. You can make a list of 10 to 15 locations or situations and use these as speaking prompts to work out what you would say. For example, one thing you can speak about is at the coffee shop. Write a dialogue about that. At the restaurant, at the airport duty free, in a taxi queue if you get talking to someone, if you bump into an old colleague, a conversation you have with your mother-in-law, at the doctor's, a neighbor that you meet, a kid, etc. Idée numéro 10, raconter une scène. So you're recalling a real life scene for this one. Think of the last interaction you had and see if you can write a short dialogue in French to reflect your exchange with that person. Idée numéro 11, être comme un perroquet. So you're going to be like a parrot for this one. You're going to find a recording of spoken French. To keep this relevant, find one at your level. It's really the best way to go. Play it and make sure to pause after every few words to practice mimicking the French speaker's accent and intonation. Idée 12, les 5 sens. This one, number 12, you're using your 5 senses. So this can be a very effective and short exercise, and you can make it last 15 minutes if you do it and then you decide to write your findings. So set a timer and ask yourself, what can I see? What can I hear? What can I smell? What can I taste? And what can I touch? And then bring up all the vocabulary you need for that 5 sense exercise. Idée 13, concours d'orthographe. You're going to try to win at spelling bee. Set your timer for 15 minutes and spell out loud as many words around you as you can see. You can make it more challenging by looking at objects, thinking of the French word equivalent for that object and spelling that French word. Otherwise, just read what you see. Idée 14, parler de quelqu'un. Number 14, you're telling us about someone. Tell us about them. Think of someone you know well enough, or the last person you met, or someone who is important to you, and write and record yourself saying as much as you can about them. Go into details about how and when you met, what kind of person they are. You can describe them physically, tell us about their personality. You can write their whole life story, where they were born, etc. Explain their likes and dislikes and any future projects they might have. Et finalement, idée 15, être curieux. Lastly, number 15, get curious. For this activity, set a timer and find your favorite dictionary. Whether it's a physical book or an online translator such as Word Reference or Reverso, take a look at the last notes you made from your last French lesson or your last study session and pick 5 commonly used words. Even though you know what they mean, type them in the online dictionary or find them in your book and discover what other meanings they potentially have. And further down the list, the further down the list you go, the more fun it gets, because you'll get into lots of fun expressions and details. What I urge you to do is remember to be a good curator on behalf of your brain. Only make a note of the things you can see yourself needing in the future to ensure you don't get overwhelmed. Voila! So now that I've shared 15 ideas you can do in under 15 minutes, I'd love it if you could tell me below which one or ones you'd love to add more regularly into your learning schedule. Voilà mes amis, merci beaucoup. Moi, bonne continuation. Au revoir.